I slept with her hours before she married my brother. She walked down the aisle still carrying my kiss. And I sat in the front row watching her vow herself to a man who had no idea what we did that night. You looked at me when you said, "I do." Your lips smiled, but your eyes were still trembling from what we'd done behind the locked door of my workshop. I was supposed to be tuning the clock tower that morning keeping time for your perfect day. Instead, you showed up in your wedding dress, asking me to stop you. And I didn't. You said, "Tell me this is wrong." But I didn't. I pulled you in and kissed you like I'd been starving for years. Because I had. You were always the one I wasn't supposed to want. My brother met you first. He brought you home like a trophy. Said you were his. But I saw how you looked at me when no one else was watching. Like you already knew the taste of my name in your mouth. You tried to fight it. So did I. But every family dinner, every shared glance, every accidental brush of your hand, it all built toward that moment. You in white, me covered in grease. The old clocks ticking behind us while your hands trembled in mine. You said, "Just once, I need to know what it would have felt like." I should have walked away. I should have protected you. Instead, I locked the door. The air smelled like brass and rain. You unzipped your dress halfway before I could say a word. And when I touched you, I swear, time itself stopped. We weren't gentle. We weren't careful. We were desperate. You kissed me like you were erasing guilt, like you wanted to brand me into your memory before the altar stole you forever. And I pulled you onto the workbench where I built my first clock, where I learned to create order from chaos. But nothing about us was orderly. You moaned my name once softly, like a secret prayer. Then you got dressed again, smoothed your veil, and whispered, "Don't come to the church." I came anyway. Of course I did. You looked radiant, divine, and completely untouchable. My brother never saw the storm behind your calm. He kissed you like a man claiming his prize. And you kissed him back like a woman trying not to look at me. I wonder if you felt me in that kiss. If the memory of my hands under your dress made you flinch. If the way I said your name hours earlier echoed in your vows. Because it did for me. Every word you spoke was a dagger in my ribs. And I sat there, bleeding quietly, smiling for the camera. No one knew. But you did. And I did. You danced with him that night while I stood outside, chain smoking, under the bell tower. The same tower where you had me earlier. And when it struck midnight, I heard your laugh echo down the steps. I thought maybe that's the last sound of you I'll ever get to keep. But you found me. In the dark, you pressed your forehead to mine and whispered, "We both know this doesn't end here." You were right. It never did. Because now, every time I hear that church bell ring, I remember the hour I had you, and the lifetime I lost you. And I ask myself the same question I've asked 100 times since that day. If you came back right now, wedding ring and all, would I stop you again? Or would I let you ruin me twice? I still remember the first time I saw you. You walked into my shop wearing a black wool coat and sadness-like perfume. You said your grandmother's clock had stopped ticking. I didn't know then that you were going to stop mine too. We talked for over an hour about old things show they break, how we try to fix them. You said some things aren't meant to tick forever. And I said maybe we just haven't tried hard enough. You smiled. God, that smile After that first visit, you started coming back, always with an Excusian old watch, a music box, a question you already knew the answer to. We talked for too long, sometimes not about clocks at all. You told me things you hadn't told anyone, and I listened, every word like a thread binding me closer to you. And still, I did nothing. Until the night of the rehearsal dinner. You wore green. You always looked beautiful, but that night, you were something else. Electric. I tried not to stare. I failed. I was in the kitchen grabbing wine when you came in. You said, he wants us to dance tomorrow, all three of us, for the guests. And then you just stood there, quiet, waiting. And I touched your hand. Nothing scandalous, just skin on skin. But the way we both froze told me we were already too far gone. You left without another word, but your hand lingered in mine long after. I kept the door to the shop open late that night. I don't know why. Maybe I hoped you'd come by. Maybe I knew you would. You didn't, but the rain did, and I sat there listening to it, surrounded by ticking things in silence. The next morning, everything fell apart. You burst through the back door in your dress, soaked from the storm, hair pinned up, veil in your hand. You looked at me like a woman about to make the worst decision of her life, and begging someone to stop her. I didn't. I just reached for you. And you let me. What we did that morning wasn't love. It wasn't lust either. It was inevitability. It was years of quiet looks and long pauses, exploding into a moment we both knew we'd regret, but never forget. I never even said your name out loud. It felt too sacred, too dangerous. And afterward we said almost nothing at all. You left me with a kiss and a look I still dream about. And I went to the church like a coward. I thought it would be over after that. That I'd carry the shame and you'd carry the silence. But you didn't. You kept calling, kept finding reasons to stop by. I tried to end it. Twice. But every time you showed up, I folded. You said you felt trapped. I said I felt owned. We agreed it was wrong. And then we kept doing it anyway. Sometimes it was quiet, a kiss in the alley, a hand slipped into mine at dinner. Sometimes it was chaos. You showed up one night soaked in tears, saying he accused you of cheating. You didn't lie. You just said nothing. I held you that night while you slept in my bed. And for the first time, I wished we'd been caught, just so we didn't have to lie anymore. But we weren't, and you left again before morning. I thought that was the end, until last night. Your name lit up on my phone. Just one word. It's past midnight. The lights are off. The clocks are silent, and all I can hear is my own heart. If you walk through that door tonight, I won't stop you. Not this time.